I think also with like classes or even just like social media, there's always like negative feedback, negative comments, and it's so hard to ignore the noise, right? Like you go into a dance class and depending on which studio you're going to, it could be professionals or snotty people that, you can feel the judgy eyes or just the trolls online. There's negativity everywhere, right?
Yeah.
How do you suggest, because you're such a positive soul, ignoring the noise or some methods to just, yeah, like move past the negativity?
Great question. I feel really, really fortunate to have not yet fully encountered, I would say, online haters or
Good.
people who have given me any negative feedback. There have definitely been some classes I've taught. I teach a very different style of yoga. Like if you think you're gonna come to just a normal average yoga class, it's not what I teach. Like there's sometimes crazy music and I'm making you breathe really loud and different stuff that is not everybody's cup of tea. And I totally understand that because I'm not your typical by the book yoga class. I've shifted it and transformed it in a way that I think works for the modern mind for most people. But ultimately, what I tell people when someone is sharing anything that doesn't really resonate with you is they probably don't know you. They have no idea who you are, what you've been through. And this is another book I love, like The Four Agreements.
I love that book.
Yes, so good. And one of the agreements is to not take anything personally. And I truly believe the actions of another person, the words of another person, have nothing to do with you
Yeah.
and everything to do with them. And just knowing, yeah, we're human. We're gonna get upset at things people say. We're gonna think like, 50 people could tell me they love my class, and then I'll always remember the one person who walked out. But letting it go in a just a stop, not my student, not my person, not my teacher. We were never made to know this many people, to have access to this many people. We literally used to live in tribes of what, maybe 30 people.
Mm.
And I'm a person like I love everyone. I think everyone's amazing. I think everyone should be friends with everyone. But ultimately, you're going to find your people that you resonate with and just focus on them again and again and again and come back to. I posted this too on a story. Like sometimes I'll literally screenshot
Mhm.
my friends' messages or my students' messages that just like warmed my heart and I put them in an album. So if I ever do get into a spiral of, oh, like, what am I doing? Is this bad? Should I post this? Should I not post this? I go back to those messages of the one person who's like, this changed my life. And
Yeah.
I just remember that it is not for everyone. If you are for everyone, you are for no one. So you might as well just hone in on who you are, what you want to do so that the people who need you can find you.
Wow, I love this. And it's so true. Like I was even just reflecting back on the woman I've interviewed for this podcast, and I love and I admire and like I feel like they were like meant to be in my life for for a
Yeah.
particular reason, right? Um so yeah, of course like I feel like I have to thank you so much for that because you're like helping me attract like such positive, empowering women and people in general that I never thought I would come across. Like because I was just in this other like headspace of validation, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm just like in Sydney mode. I don't give a fuck.
Yes. No, it's so beautiful. Like, and you did that, right? Like truly, thank you for thanking me, but you did that. And that's the other thing is I am a huge believer in you create the reality you exist in. So if you're going to put out any thoughts or energy of social media is a terrible place, people are so mean, Instagram is scary, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right in your life, it's not even a thought in my mind. I genuinely don't. If that comes in, I'm just like, no, it doesn't exist. I only coexist around women who make me feel empowered, friends who make me feel empowered, inspired me, and you, by doing the work, have raised your frequency genuinely to an extent where you're now magnetic to that same, right? Like the same frequencies want to be together. And
Yeah.
so you'll find that because you're just putting that out there. You're an amazing person. You're inspiring people. You're choosing to do this. Obviously, you're gonna like attracts like. So good for you.
Well, that's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um Do you feel like you've like manifested like your dream? I love your life. Like I want your life. Do you feel like you've like manifested it all, or what are the next big dreams?
I don't know if we'll ever get to an end. I tell people this all the time is there's no finish line. We're not getting anywhere. We're all getting to the same place, sadly, and in the best way, that's death. Like nothing matters, right? You can just achieve what you're meant to achieve. And the real yogi in me truly believes in karma and having this predetermined timeline that you can choose to evolve with or into or not. Ultimately, humans, we have choice, and I believe that. And I believe there's a highest timeline, and then there's somewhere in between. And then there's like, if you really let the human self get the best of you and go into these toxic habits, you might not reach it. But if you believe in reincarnation, you get to come again and try again in a different shape, form, or way. I think my life, I'm so incredibly grateful for. And I try to remind myself all the time because I am such a goal setter going towards to like pause and reflect on, not even 2 years ago was I full-time doing wellness yoga. I was bartending to meet my rent and pay things and, be more in this like 3D world. And I just remember saying at a retreat that I was attending and I taught at that I wanted to do this full time. And it was the first time that I said it out loud. And from saying that out loud, everyone's like, you can. And I'm like, oh, right, I literally can. But I was just telling myself a story of there's not enough money in this. How am I going to sustain it? What am I going to do? What connections am I going to make? And I just rewired to it. Literally, if you want to do anything, you can do it. And that goes to even going on a retreat, taking so many people tell me, I really want to come on retreat. I just don't have enough money right now. I'm like, money is everywhere. Like you could go DoorDash. You could literally go sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace and make it happen for yourself. It doesn't always have to be the way that you see it. But I've just started living my life and rewired my brain to truly believe. And my mom has told me this since I was a little tiny baby. And I think it really just planted it in my brain of like, you can do anything you want to do. Like if you want to, you will. Put your mind to it, you'll achieve it. It's always been that mindset for me. And I think because I just am not believing anything else, things have manifested into my reality. But ultimately, yeah, being content and thinking that it's enough will never, I'll never escape that. I think I'll always think bigger, dream bigger, visionary.
I love that. So where can people find you?
They can find me mostly on Instagram right now at Sydney R Burger. Sydney like Australia, R like Rose, and then burger, literally like a cheeseburger, and that is my last name.
I love it.
Everyone's like, "Is that real?" I'm like, "I wish." That would be also rogue for me to just make.
It's iconic, literally. And the fact that
Thank you.
it sounds like a signature. You're like a cheeseburger every time.
Like a cheeseburger because you're like burger, they get so confused, and yeah, it's with a U. And I'm relaunching TikTok soon. We're making our way there. It's something, a goal of the next month to really get back on there, but it's the same handle. WeleraWorld.com is my website. And yeah, other than that, that's all my contact information. I have a Substack too. They can find me on there.
Amazing. Well, everyone follow, check out our services. And Sydney, thank you again for being here and being a part of my life. I'm really grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you, Liz, and I